bloodsuckers.
As you walk through the valley of the shadow of hell,
Join us!
you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil.
We have such sights to show you.
A veil that is beyond our own comprehension.
I'm just gonna bash your brains.
Beyond the void.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void
Horror Podcast.
That's right. It's episode 197, and today is a special episode because it's our 4-year anniversary!
Yay!
That's right. 4 years of fucking a lot of work. Yeah, man. I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of work. I've met a lot of really awesome people.
You've had a lot of co-hosts.
Yeah. That doesn't mean anything. People are busy. You know what I mean? We've had a lot of fun, man. Like, and no matter who's been on the show, like, we've all had fun. Everybody that's been on the show, we've always had fun.
It mixes it up.
Yeah. I'm really proud that we've made it to 4 years. I don't think most podcasts even make it a year.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
I mean, I've had like 3 podcasts and it's a lot of work.
I've inspired a lot of people to start podcasts, apparently,
It's true.
that didn't stay in podcasting. I don't know why, because like our podcast, I feel like our podcast has done really well. We've found like a really good group of people,
right?
But we haven't like hit any kind of mainstream effort, which is fine.
Right.
Like I don't mind as long as we got like, because like if you think about like going into groups and stuff like that, when there's too many people, there's like too many problems.
Exactly.
So it's kind of nice that we have a really nice group of
like listeners
and stuff. Some that like to be vocal, some that do not, some that just listen every time. Like every week I always find out someone new that's listening and I didn't even realize. So it's
That's nice.
Yeah, I was like, you listen? They're like, yeah, every week. I'm like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me this shit? I'm fucking cutting my wrists over here. Thinking I'm doing a terrible job. No, I'm kidding. I'm not looking for compliments, okay?
But they're nice. Compliments are nice.
Oh, no, it's great to hear from people that listen because I feel like a lot of my friends don't even know what I do.
Well, it's the reassurance, too, that...
Right. Well, and you've picked up, where everybody else left off, and you've really come around. Like,
have I?
Yes,
okay.
You have. Like, you used to podcast before I did. Like, and then all of a sudden, like, you just stopped.
I needed a break.
And then I was worried.
A lot of work.
I was like fucking petrified because like part of the we don't even want to get married because we don't want to change anything. Like
right.
We're so like we're happy where we are.
And when you started this, I didn't want to be like a part of it because
we didn't want to argue. We've gotten into arguments.
Oh yeah, we've gotten into arguments.
You guys don't know.
There was crying a few times.
I beat the shit out of her. I'm totally kidding. Don't hit people.
Kidding.
Right? I've never even laid a hand.
I hit him.
Yes, she has. You have hit me.
I have, but
You have.
It's sex.
I tickle her and she fucking slaps my face. You want to talk about fucking abuse people?
You shouldn't
this
fucking,
one.
No, you shouldn't fucking tickle people when they're not expecting it, when they're trying to go to bed.
I don't know.
You deserved it.
I don't know. Look what you were wearing, Alex. Wow, what a 4-year throw in. Everybody's like, fuck this podcast. If you've been here this long, you're probably going to deal with it anyway. But if not, we're joking, of course.
Yeah, so am I staying on when I've been here? I've been on the podcast for like 8 months.
I think it's about time for you to get into an argument with me and then leave.
I know. Can somebody plays like
Just to be clear, it has not been like that for everybody, okay?
Well, not-
Everybody's had to do their own thing. I'm just being silly.
not every
I gotta
time.
clarify everything.
Just a few episodes. I'm sure you could tell which episodes.
There was argument. Everybody, look, anytime you get into a fucking project with somebody, if you think it's all peaches and rainbows and fucking sunshine and lollipops, you're going to be in for a fucking real argument.
Exactly. Especially if you're stubborn.
Right.
Alex.
Well, it's not even that I'm stubborn. It's not like a narcissist thing. It's just.
I know. You're like a perfectionist ADD.
Yes, I try to be too much of a perfectionist.
I understand because I live with you too. So it's like I have to understand. What?
That just sounds funny. Oh, because I fucking live with you too.
I have to fucking deal with it every time, every day.
That's why she hits me, guys, so I can snap out of it.
It's not funny.
Just because I go to the doctor and say I fell down the stairs doesn't mean anything. It helps.
Stairs.
It helps me.
It helps you.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys very much. Christina does too. Behind the scenes, you guys don't realize that Christina is also single-handedly holding up my fucking my mental strength. You know what I mean? Like, she's propping me up like the whole way. She's been nothing but supportive of this podcast from the get. She created Horror Shots. It was her idea. She's been a part of it anyway, so it's nice to have her on the show.
Oh, well, thanks.
And she's like the manager because I'm fucking a disorganized, fucking depressed fucking artist.
He is.
You know, or I think I am anyway.
You are.
Art, quote unquote. But yeah, she's like the one that did it. So, you know, she's the rock.
Oh, thanks.
Welcome to the rock.
Well, you're a passionate person.
I'm Nicolas Cage.
Like...
You're like fucking Sean Connery. That's
yeah.
I don't own the movie, by the way. So
I automatically think of Indiana Jones.
that's a great movie, dude.
We just watched it. We just watched it because of that.
Yeah, we watched Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, and I miss Sean Connery.
I do too, but he's old now. He's like in his 80s.
Yeah, well, no, he doesn't want to act anymore. He gave up.
He's retired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's
like,
old. He wants to spend time with
Sean
his family
Connery
before he dies.
I don't blame him. I'm just saying I miss him.
Right.
Like, oh, fuck. Is he still alive? Sorry, that's terrible, but
I don't know with the Mandela effect because somebody.
Oh God!
I forgot somebody just died, and I was like, didn't they die like 5 years ago?
That would be sad. I would be sad if he passed away.
And we're over here talking shit about him.
Right. Okay. So he's born in 1930. So he's He's almost old. He's 90 years old.
God.
Wow.
That I went to.
I hope I didn't just fuck it up with our coincidences on here. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh my God! I swear to God,
this
Alex.
better not fucking happen. I swear to you. Listen to me, podcast God. You may have created this podcast inadvertently through me, but you will not kill Sean Connery.
That's right, because we were talking about that diabetes guy just passed away.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Fucking Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, and we just did a movie with him in it.
I feel bad now that I made jokes about diabetes and stuff like that, but he was always in good spirits about that shit, you know? Anyway.
That's true.
I don't know, but there's some goals that I've had for this podcast that have come and not come and things that I've done, but you guys are the best, and I really do appreciate you guys sharing, telling your friends, and like finding other awesome people like yourselves that listen and enjoy the show.
And recommending it.
Right, like that shit really goes, like you have no idea how much that fucking helps. It's not that I need to be the biggest show on earth, but you know, I would like at some point that if I could make a little bit of money just to get by on, to do this or YouTube or whatever, all of it.
I was just going to say, subscribe to the YouTube too.
Oh yeah, that too. Even though I probably won't get fucking partnered again because they won't tell me why I can't be partnered. They're just like, yeah, it's reused content.
It doesn't matter as long you just need to get more subscribers, you get more views.
That's I don't mind. Either way, I'm going to do it anyway, but yeah, it'd be nice if they fucking put me back into the partnership program.
You always have some sort of obstacle because before this it was like iTunes.
iTunes wouldn't let me on there because some fucking dumbass fucking radio show
that isn't even around anymore.
And also the Great Plot Podcast our buddies over there, one of them sent me a new board game coming out called Beyond the Veil, which is what our original name.
Are you fucking serious?
I was like, yeah, good luck with that, because I bet you that guy, the guys over at the other show or the radio show that aren't doing anything with it anymore are probably going to be so angry nothing happened with it that they're going to go after those guys.
I hope they do.
No, I hope they don't. Fuck that shit. I hope Beyond the Veil becomes, well, I don't know, you know?
But yeah, anyway.
Anyway, I shouldn't have been so specific there, but whatever. Fuck you, Chris.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you, Chris, and your fucking asshole, fake-ass manager who was yourself. I'm letting it all out now. 4 years I had to deal with your bullshit. Please don't send hate to anybody, okay? Please. I'm just teasing. It's a radio show.
You're teasing.
It's a radio program.
About UFOs. Anyway.
Anyway, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to live this moment up because I was having a shit morning this morning. And then I realized it was the 4th year. I was like, oh yeah, it's 4 years. And then I was like, okay, I started getting a better mood thinking about all the things, you know, looking at all the old pictures of like, you know, Brittany, Mike Saga, like fucking Patrick and Mike and all these dumb fucking videos that we made.
And all the people you interviewed.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of people we interviewed. I haven't done an interview in a long time, guys, and I hope you aren't mad about that. I've just been, I don't know, kind of gliding with these movies because I've been really enjoying watching movies and talking about them. So, but yeah, I plan to do some more interviews in the future. So I already talked to someone today about it. And I have one in my back pocket that I just need to hit up.
And you need to do another Grave Plots.
It's a lot of stress when you do those interviews for me, like mentally. Like I feel comfortable when I'm in it. It's kind of like when you're like, if you're in a band and you hit the stage, as soon as you're on there, as soon as you fucking say the first word, like as a singer, at least from my perspective, as soon as you say the first word, it's over. All the stress, anxiety, you know, all that shit's gone. And you're just like, it's either make it or break it, you do it.
Right.
That part's fine. But when I'm anticipating what questions to ask and researching and practically stalking a person to figure out some good questions to ask, it is a little stressful sometimes. But, you know, you deal with it. You do what you want. I think
you do a good job. You do a good job.
I appreciate that, but that's not what I was looking for. What I was getting at is that I just think of people as just people.
Right.
So, like...
Exactly. That's why you have good conversation.
Right. But then they also say don't meet your heroes because then they'll be assholes. And that has happened a couple of times.
Yeah, that has happened.
And I fucking hate that. That's like someone kicking your fucking puppy, you know? And just like fucking clipping it down the hallway and it dead.
Right.
Like you're just like, what the fuck just happened? I won't name names, but I swear to God, you ruined my childhood. You shit on my dreams. Just kidding. Anyway, guys, thank you again. I'm going to stop talking about the podcast.
Oh, thank God.
I just thought, you know, I'd share a little bit about the shit behind the scenes with Christina and thank all of you who have been a part of the podcast, whether it's writing for the website, or guesting or listening or just commenting on the podcast, you know, hosting, whatever you are. I have no hatred towards anybody that's ever been a part of this. It meant a lot to me that anybody has want to been a part of this whole fucking thing. So thank all of you.
Thank you.
And with that said,
we finally get to finish up the Amityville horror.
Oh, yeah. So the movies this week, by the way, we're going to be talking about the last 2 movies. It's not necessarily of the franchise, but of the actual franchise, technically, because somewhere around 2015 or 2012, somewhere in there between those years, they like just sold off the rights. And I don't know what happened. I know Harvey Weinstein and Bob Weinstein bought the rights to do the remake. And that was in 2007, right?
You mean the woman abusers?
I don't know, but I mean, maybe that has something to do with it. But they sold off, whoever it is, sold off the rights to, I don't know what it was, I guess. But now you see all these, like, anybody can use the Amityville horror title or Amityville this or Amityville that.
I'm fine with that.
It's like Amityville box, Amityville shoe sole, or, Amityville shoelace.
Well, I mean, it is a real town.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of movies out there, and I've tried to watch some of the trailers, and some of them, they're very low budget, but, some of them look really bad.
All of them are low. All of them.
Well, yeah, but this is another layer of cheese that has not been discovered by many. Like, this is like you need some scuba gear to get in there, like some toxic outfit in the depths of the sea of cheese.
Is this why you torture me?
Yeah, no, I just love 80s, and I want to watch 80s movies with people and just enjoy the shittiness of them for the most part and enjoy laughing at them, with them, and there's just a thing about it. I don't know. And thank you for that. I appreciate you going through.
I'm just glad it's over. I'm just glad. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to be watching Amityville Dollhouse from
1996
and
Amityville The Awakening from 2017.
Holy shit,
that's
what
a big
gap. Yeah.
That's like a 11-year gap.
That's some fucking, yeah.
Well, especially in the 90s, it was like every year.
Yeah.
They came out with a movie like every year. Almost.
Right. They were like, okay, we got to give up on this shit. 2007, if you think about it. So it's 10 years.
Yeah. Oh,
but
2017.
There's a long story about The Awakening that we don't. It had some troubles coming out. We'll talk about that later. But
okay,
just for now, that's what we're going to be talking about. Yeah, can you stop talking over me, Christina? Appreciate that.
Sorry.
4 fucking years.
Not 4.
4 fucking years.
I've only been here for like 8 months. What are you fucking talking about?
Anyway, guys, I think it might be that time.
What time is it?
Horror shots. All right, guys, so we decided to pick. We had actually 2. We'll share what the other one was going to be called after should we just say it at the beginning?
Yeah. We were going to do a shot for the first movie, the Dollhouse movie.
The Dollhouse movie called a murder hornet because there was a murder hornet in it.
Yeah, like literally, it was a fucking, it was huge. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, and then we watched the new movie, and there's a shotgun in the movie, and people get shot in the chest a lot,
Right.
So I thought, oh, well, I got those shotgun shell fucking shot glasses, which are so tasteful. So we decided that we're going to be calling that.
What are we calling it, Alex?
I don't remember now because we had like 5 different names.
It's the Amityville
Party Poppers.
Party Poppers.
It might taste like potty. I don't know.
I don't know. It smells like.
So
potty.
yeah, this is an Amityville Party Popper, which you can use your mind when we're using shotgun shells. Party Popper.
Well, there's a picture.
I'm assuming it's going to taste good because it's got mango in it. Anytime you put mango in anything, for the most part, it covers the taste of alcohol for the most part, depending on how much you put in. But I've done a lot of fucking grain alcohol and like jungle juice parties, and mango has always been the best juice to cover up any alcohol.
Oh, I'm excited.
I don't know why. Big tip for you guys out there who are big alcoholics. Fuck AA. Let's get the party started. No, I'm kidding. Please don't drink.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, especially.
Jesus Christ.
So check it out. So what's in the Amityville Party Popper?
What is in the Amityville Party Popper?
Well, basically, you're going to use a shotgun shell if you can find one.
They're on
not a
Amazon.
real one, just like a shot glass. I think they're like $10 for a set of 5 or 4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Amazon. I wish I had a link.
It was pretty cheap. Maybe we'll put one up afterwards. But anyway, you're going to do 1/3 gin, 1/3 tequila, and 1/3 vodka in one shot glass. Then in a bigger cup, like a mixer or whatever you want to do, I would highly recommend using ice if you can. Pour that shot into the mixer, and then in another shot, pour in a full ounce or a shot glass worth of Bango juice. We got ours at Costco or something like that a while ago. And
Hell yeah,
I was like, we could use it for shots and then drink it later. So here we're doing it now. And you mix it up, you pour the 2 shots out, you should have just enough for both. So cheers to the end of the goddamn franchise for now.
Yeah, please. I never want to watch a
Another Amityville again?
Right. Except maybe that Amityville Island.
All right. Are we going to go in each other's rooms and do a shot for each room?
Let's do it.
That's how you really do an Amityville Party Popper, is you go to every room and do a shot for every room in the house.
Okay, ready? It's a big shot.
See what I mean?
Oh my God, you can't even taste the alcohol.
I told you. I can't even taste it.
Oh wait, now we can.
I mean, you can taste it, but it's nowhere near as bad as you would think. So you want it cold. That's why.
Yeah.
We didn't do it cold. Anyway, guys, if you would like to try an Amityville Party Popper, all you got to do is go to longlivethevoid.com and check out our hashtag horror shot section now. That's it for Horror Shots. All right, guys, now it's time to jump into our flesh and potatoes of Amityville Dollhouse from 1996 and
Amityville, The Awakening from 2017.
Right now.
All right, so I'm going to kick it off this time for the first time. We're mixing it up because we're getting too formulaic.
We are.
So I did the research on Amityville Dollhouse from 1996. Oops. I almost did.
You just shut it down.
I forgot to do what the story's about. Shut up. A children's dollhouse, which is a miniature of the infamous haunted Long Island house, is given to a young girl where the demonic evil soon comes out to cause more terror. Ooh. There's
a whore in the house.
Oh my God. This movie is directed by Steve White, who is mostly a producer. This is his only director credit. He's produced a lot of films, including The Devil's Advocate, Amityville: A New Generation, It's About Time, Evil Escapes. So this is the fourth one in his quadrilogy, he would call it.
Quadrilogy.
This is his series, technically, he feels. He also did Death of a Cheerleader and many more. Some of the cast is Robin Thomas, who plays Bill the Dad. He got his start in As the World Turns. That's where he blew up. And he was also the principal in Summer School. Clock Stoppers movie, Queer as Folk. He did a bit part in Pacific Rim, Zoo TV show, Delirium, and more.
Zoo TV?
The one your dad likes, yeah.
I like that.
Also, there is Star Andreef, who plays Claire the mom. She also got her start in soaps with General Hospital. Huh. She was in Skullduggery, Ghoulies 2, Out of the Dark, The Terror Within, Sinjanor, which I need to see again. I have it on VHS. Scanner Cop, which I also really like. I wish they would do a DVD or Blu-ray of that. She was also in Vampire Journals and more.
Vampire Journals, you mean the knockoff of Vampire Diaries?
I don't know. It's called Vampire Journals.
Anyway, sorry.
Alan Cutler, who plays Todd the son, he was in Charmed for a couple of episodes, The Sculptress, a.k.a. The Demon Within, and the TV show Justified. It also stars Rachel Duncan, who plays Jessica, the little daughter. She was in Rumpelstiltskin and What Women Want. Also stars Jared Lennon, who plays Jimmy, the son. He was in Servants of Twilight, Highway to Hell, The Surgeon, Freaks and Geeks, and also Hey Arnold.
Oh, Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah. He was in the show like a lot, actually.
Yeah, that was a good show.
It also stars Clayton Murray, who plays Jimmy's dead dad. He was in a single episode here and there of The Burning Zone, Picket Fences, and a TV movie called Perfect Prey, but nothing more. Which is sad because I think he could have been a good character actor, actually. Also stars Frank Ross, who plays Uncle Tobias, better known for his roles in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. You might know him as Ira, and he was the pest guy in the Breaking Bad series, and they brought him back in.
Oh, that's where he was from.
Yeah, he's a badass. He's a badass psychic in this movie. He was in a couple of episodes of Buffy, Deadwood, and Heroes as well. It also stars Lenore Kasdorf, who is Aunt Marla. She was the mom of Rico in Starship Troopers. She was in Cellular, Missing in Action, a couple episodes of Knight Rider, Murder, She Wrote. She had 4 episodes.
Murder, She Wrote.
By the way, I think every single person in this cast has had a role in
Murder, She Wrote.
whatever the fucking music
I'm
is.
Angela Lansbury.
Yes, I'm gonna solve a horrendous murder. Why is her head separated, Laura?
Bjorkus. I don't know.
Anyway, also stars, and last but not least, Lisa Robin Kelly, who plays Dana, Todd's girlfriend. She played Laurie Foreman on that 70s show, and Days of Our Lives for like 26 episodes. So a lot of soap opera actors.
Laurie Foreman, was that the sister?
I don't remember. I just
remember.
know that she was on it.
Okay. All right.
Some of the special effects are done by Roy Nyram. He did special effects in The Abyss, Darkman, Tremors, Slugs, Circuitry Man 2, Mirror, Mirror 2, Children of the Corn, The Gathering, Children of the Corn 666, Uncle Sam, Night of the Demons 3, Death House, and plenty more. He actually even directed a few movies too, like Demons at the Door, Night Skies, Cemetery Gates, and I think he's a Juggalo fan because his very first credit is a bootleg Insane Clown Posse in LA, and he also did Twisted music videos as well. A couple of them, 2 or 3.
Twisted isn't Twisted a
Twisted was the first
ICP?
band that ICP actually picked up to put on their label and like rep them, and
okay.
Yeah. And they've been huge, They actually just started a new project, I think, with someone from Static X. So he was a guitarist for Static X.
I love Static X.
Maybe it wasn't Static X. I think it might have been Slipknot.
Oh, okay.
It was either Static X or Slipknot. One of the guitarists from one of them or something like that was going to work with Twisted. I think the guitarist. I almost worked on that project, actually. Believe it or not. Yeah, me and Mike Jenny almost did.
Okay.
Because they were going to mix metal with rap.
Oh.
And they're doing it now, which is so weird.
That's funny.
I know, isn't
You're
it really?
such a juggalo.
Hey, man, they were like, hey, this guy's going to be doing stuff. And I was like, fuck it, man. That's kind of interesting. I might want to be a part of that. So we almost did it, but we decided not to. Anyway, this movie was $1 million budget, but it went over. So the director said that he never got paid. He pretty much worked for free, which, he's a producer. He knows how it goes.
Right.
He just basically wanted to direct a film before he died. So that's why he did it.
Oh, well, that's nice. $1 million isn't that much.
Well, it was over $1 million, so I'm sure it was probably like $1.5 million or less. But Christina, what did you think of this fine film?
I thought this Dollhouse film was meh. Thought this movie might bring me back around to liking the Amityville movies, but nope. But this wasn't so bad. It's a good film.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot, but it was pretty painful to watch.
Yeah, it's a little dry.
And then it is. The story, again, I hate, the routes they take. The dad finds the fucking dollhouse in the shed, and I think they're in California. Again, it's just ridiculous. It was like somebody who lived there before them was, obsessing on the Amityville house, and they never, mentioned why the dollhouse was there, and that bothered me.
It matters.
Well, I know, but I just wanted to. But me, I like the story. I want to hear about this crazy old man who was obsessed.
Sometimes when they get too detailed, though, it gets really bad. Just like in the newer movie that we watched after this. But
right. Anyway, I know it's hard. I understand it's hard to. But overall, I mean, it was just okay. The demons, they actually showed demons in this, and I don't know. I just kind of they were cool, but it's just they didn't fit.
Right.
It's they were
obligatory.
They reminded me of the Dark Crystal characters. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, I'll tell you what I think about what they are later on, but yeah.
But other than that, and I kind of don't want to mention this because it sounds stupid, but I'm going to. There's a couple of scenes, and it kind of reminds me of Hereditary. Which
what?
Wait, hold on. Hereditary is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, what?
But it just, I was sitting there thinking, and it was with the dollhouse thing, and they had little voodoo dolls, and it was her sculpting.
Oh, I see. But that's not.
And no, listen to me for a second. And there was somebody who got set on fire, and I was from a fireplace, and I was
okay.
I was and then because it connected in my head. I was like,
so you're
what
saying
the
Hereditary, he ripped off this movie?
fuck? Yes.
All
And
right,
then, like,
continue on.
The tension in the family.
Okay.
But I absolutely hated how they kept mentioning they were a blended family.
Yeah.
That was annoying. It was like, we got it the first time. She's obviously not the father, or father. Obviously, she's not the father.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's not the mother of
Well, it
these
depends,
kids.
I guess.
Like, not gonna go there.
All
But
right.
anyway, as a so bad it's good, I would give it like a 4 out of 10.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I'll never watch this again. How about you?
Well, I mean, this isn't a good movie by any standards, really. I do appreciate that it sort of swings for the fence in some areas, though, and it's close to a so bad it's good, but not exactly.
Well,
Like,
not
it's
for you?
It is. No, it's definitely so bad it's good, but it's also kind of dry. It's a little too dry for me. But there are some pretty cool things that they do in it to make it so bad it's good. So it's like a balance of the two. So I don't even know where my, scoring really lies exactly. I'm still trying to think about it. But it's got bad acting. That's totally 90s, bro. And it does things that are bizarre, but in the same coin, unique on the other side of the coin. So it's weird, while not being unique at all in the story.
Right.
I mean, a family is turned upside down, check. Weird sort of taboo wanting to fuck family members, check. Hey, we don't all get along, check. Psychics who nose around, check.
Oh, that's right.
Silly demonic happenings, check. So it's, it's not that original, but they handle it, and where they choose to take the story in some parts kind of is original. I don't know. There's just a lot of shit going on in this movie, and one thing after another just keeps shooting at you like a fucking Uzi, spraying the viewer without any deaths. So many things that either look terrible, make you laugh, or just make no goddamn sense. But I still, again, have to appreciate it for trying.
Right.
At least they were ambitious. Like, that's all I give a fuck about. They were ambitious enough to try to put things in a movie that you wouldn't see, but also being kind of tropey.
Okay.
Like, some of the weird scenes that they did in it, there was some weird shit. Like, you don't normally see demons in a fucking movie, period.
Well,
I think what I guess I'm trying to say is it was a little too creatively ambitious for its britches.
okay.
Does that make sense? Like, they didn't have enough money to really pull it off. It was ambitious in some regards. Like, if they would have had twice or 3 times the budget, it might have actually looked okay. But they made it work. And I'll tell you something that they were going to use at the end of the movie instead of what you got.
Ooh, let me know.
I'll tell you later. That'll be for the extras. But usually any of that stuff where they like barely get by, highly ambitious, poorly acted, 90s acting even, with like effects, like crazy dumb effects and stuff,
Right.
is disastrous fun for me as a viewer. And while this movie is kind of lame, it goes where you typically figure it will in that sense. It also is low. It's, like I said, low on death and high on the what the fuck factor. At times, I feel like it's intentionally trying to be funny. It's even got a like a House sort of vibe with it for a little bit there, like House or Gate. I got 2 like weird distinct moments with the dad in there where he was acting like crazy and like being funny.
Oh my God, I haven't seen those.
House or
I haven't seen those.
The Gate?
Right.
Oh, wow. I need to ruin you with that. Anyway, their dad in this movie is zany, and he's like spitting out one-liners that are like really silly and kind of funny, actually. It's like stuff that you would like laugh at, but also shake your head at. But it works. I thought he was actually pretty bright spot in the movie, honestly. It was totally out of place for the whole movie. In like his role was way different than the tone of the entire film.
Right.
But I don't know if I can consider it just like big movie like that you're hoping for. So I would probably give it like a 5 or a 4.5 maybe on the big scale. Probably 4.5 is more accurate.
Right.
It just depends on what you like in one. It's not exactly funny throughout the movie. It's just schlock and completely off the fucking rails. And as she mentioned, has full-on fucking weird-looking demons walking around, so you got that. I don't know, it's just tough for me. I don't think I hate this film, and I might pop it on once in a while, just outside the franchise even. So, I mean, that's saying something. But it has some ideas I can appreciate, even if they seem stupid sometimes. But,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you said what?
4.
4.5, so 4.25 on the S-Big scale for us. You're using the S-Big scale now?
I guess so.
Wow.
Well, if this was just a regular movie, it'd be like 2.
Yeah, probably.
It's a 2.
I don't know, maybe 2.5.
But we had fun. We had fun watching this, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was not the worst in the franchise. Let's be honest.
No, it was not the worst.
And we will be going over what our top best to worst is by the end of this episode. So we'll fill you in when that is in the timestamps down below.
Stick around.
So stick around. You can speed ahead to see that if you want. And also, speaking of timestamps, we are going to get into our trivia and spoilers now. So if you don't want anything spoiled and you want to check this movie out, it's going to be really hard, guys. This is a very rare movie. Even the DVD is still going for $129, even though they sell the entire box set at Vinegar Syndrome's with it in it, for $60. So I don't know. There's people who have paid $150 for the fucking Laserdisc still. And I mean, that's different.
Laserdisc?
Yeah, there was a Laserdisc. You can get the entire collection of Amityville all the way up to that movie on Laserdisc.
Oh.
I used to have a lot of Laserdiscs and I used to collect them as well. I even had the Evil Dead blueprint.
I remember.
Oh man, I got rid of it too and I'm so mad. I'm mad.
Well, you had to.
I had to, yeah. It was food and rent or homelessness, so I chose non-homeless. Anyway, but yeah, it's going to be hard to find online, guys. You can't really even rent it or anything like that, but hopefully it'll be popping up on like Shudder soon. I think it's a good sign that they have the Evil Escapes on there, so maybe they'll put the other ones on there as well. Vinegar Syndrome's a place that you can pick it up for, like I said, $60. So if you want to get the box set and you want to check it out, otherwise you can hear what we're about to tell you about it right fucking now. So here's your warning. All right, so the movie starts off with a father named Bill and his kid Todd. And his daughter, not Todd's daughter, but the father's daughter, Jessica, move into a new house that he spent 10 months making with his new wife, Claire, who is not related to his children, and her son, Jiminy Cricket. I'm just kidding. No, Jimmy. I can't speak. But his own son and her son are little pricks to each other about the house and everything. They're just a bunch of dicks right off the bat. Bagged dicks. The original mom isn't really around or in their lives either, so it's like you don't really know anything about that.
Why isn't my mom called?
Yeah, he's like 27. Like, dude, why is my mom not called?
Why won't she talk to me?
Why doesn't she love me? Because your mom's into meth, bro.
Maybe it's because you're a dick.
Yeah, because you're an asshole.
You're an asshole.
But there's an old shed on the property that apparently Dad didn't decide to open up in the 10 months he was putting the fucking house together.
I don't understand that.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Sense.
You could look at that every single day and not wonder what's inside of it for 10 months.
Well, not just that. Why are you building a house that's for 10 months and then there's a shed there? Like, where did the shed come from?
Well, the shed was from a previous house that got burned to the fucking ground.
Oh, gee, I wonder why. Could it have been the dollhouse?
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
It wasn't that. It was like some house that got burned down, remember?
No.
They talk about it in the movie like 2 times.
Okay, I see.
Because when they go into the shed, the daughter or the Todd and his girlfriend go in there to go fuck at one point in time, and she sees the pictures on the wall of this house that got burned down on the same property.
Oh, I thought it was Amityville.
And that was the shed that was left. But how else are you supposed to get the fucking dollhouse if you don't have some piece left?
You're right.
But I don't know why he wouldn't just. I don't know. They don't really. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I would have immediately seen that shed and gone, well, wonder if there's something, odd in it or something, like a demon Amityville dollhouse or something. Like, of course, he brings it in to the house The father does. And then there was a really funny line between him and his new wife. She was like, just remember, Mr. Sensitive, I didn't marry you because of hope. I married you because you had a sweet ass.
I don't even know what's going on.
It was not delivered well at all.
No, not at all.
But the cool thing about this fucking particular Amityville movie is that the dollhouse, anything that happens inside the dollhouse, now that the house, because this little dollhouse is inside of the house now, it becomes part of the house.
The real house.
The real house.
Right. Which is weird because it's not set up the same.
No, but it has some issue, you know, like there was chimney coming out of the smokestack on the dollhouse, so then there was chimney smoke coming out of the regular house that they had because they did have a chimney, a fireplace. And then, like, there was this weird scene. They wake up in the middle of the night sweating and shit, and the dad goes downstairs and sees his daughter behind it and wakes up on the couch from a fever dream.
Right.
Like,
and then it started getting hot in there. It's getting hot in here. It's weird.
I don't know. The dollhouse makes like the truck in the garage run over the new bike that they're getting for Jessica
for her birthday.
Yeah, as in hopes that they'll use the dollhouse as a gift. He's like, well, I guess we got this old thing. Do you think she'll like it? And she loves it.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. I need it in my room.
Yeah, here you go. Here's a demonic fucking dollhouse. You don't mind.
And during the birthday party, because then it was her birthday party, and her aunt and uncle show up on a motorcycle. And they're the psychic, medium, spiritual people. And so they could feel the evil from this dollhouse.
Yeah, it's like they become, like, only when they show up, they never really feel it. They just like, oh, I just sense something.
Oh, yes, they sense.
But then later on, they become like wise, powerful psychics that are like battle psychics. You know what I mean? Like fucking Uncle fucking Tobias is like a fucking, like a demon hunter or some shit at the end.
Well, don't they show them that like they own like a witchcraft bookstore or something?
I guess, yeah. They like,
weird.
yeah. That was just a weird addition. She's like into herbal crystals and shit like that. The older kid Todd puts a fake spider in the piñata, and the fucking dollhouse makes it turn into a real one, so that when Jimmy is smacking the piñata, he's like hoping to scare him, but it ends up being a real tarantula on his head. And then he's like, "You did it on purpose, you little bastard!" And everybody hates Todd now. He's like, "I put it in there, yeah, but I put in a fake spider, not a real one."
And nobody believed
Of
him.
course not.
So then Jessica was
Because
sick.
fuck you, Todd. Fuck you, Todd.
Fucking asshole. No wonder your mom doesn't fucking talk to you.
Yeah.
But Jessica was sick now. She's getting sick.
Yeah, from the dollhouse. At her party, even. As early as her party.
Like since she opened
Yeah, because she breathed in some smoke, remember?
Oh, from the chimney.
Yeah. She was like,
Oh,
I'm dying.
I have corona.
Oh my God, Christina.
Oh, I get anyone who coughs. Oh, fucking bitch got corona. Get the fuck away from me.
But the dollhouse forces open the window of the house, and Jessica is like, how did you do that? Which apparently blows dust in the house. I don't know why. While Jimmy's mouse escapes and runs into the dollhouse under a bed, and like suddenly a giant mouse appears under the bed.
Under Jessica's bed.
Yeah, like in real life, like in her house. And you see, like, it's not a rat. They even said it's a mouse, and it looks like a rat's tail.
It looks like a rat tail.
I like, it's just like moving the bed up and down. It's like so fucking giant, and
Jessica's yelling. She's like, ah.
Yeah, and Todd sees it, and he's like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? And he looks under the bed, and he sees the red eyes, and all of a sudden, I don't know, he backs up and knocks over the fucking dollhouse, killing the mouse inside of it.
Mm-hmm. So Jimmy's pissed.
So, yeah, Jimmy thinks he's out to fucking get him because he already scared him with the spider and all this other shit. So they're building up this, you know, MO for why everybody would fucking torment each other, you know, on everybody. Yeah, and like Jimmy's like obscenely upset about it. And so Bill, the dad, goes to talk to him, and he's like, I don't want any part of you. You just did this. You hate me and shit like that. So when he shuts the door, though, there was this scene where Jimmy's dad is appearing behind the door, and he looks dead as fuck. Cool.
You know what? He kind of reminded me of the guy from Pet Sematary who died in the hospital.
Right.
That reminded me a lot of him.
Kind of, yeah. Jimmy's like all happy about it, by the way. He doesn't even seem affected. He's like, I thought you were dead. And he's like, I was, but I'm back for you, you know, like, and Jimmy's all cool with it. Like, well, cool. Dead dad's in the house. He's like, yeah, but we got to keep the secret between me and you. And then dad's like, maybe you should kill Bill. I don't know. Good to see you, son. Maybe you should kill Bill.
And it was seriously like that, too. Like how he said it. Oh, now I'm thinking of Kill Bill, the movie. Anyway.
Yeah, he's like, Bill's been treating me really poorly. He's like, well, maybe you should kill Bill.
Just kill him. So stupid.
Like the kid has anything to him to make him want to do that.
So then they cut to Bill having sex with his wife or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then his wife saw the picture on the nightstand of
Todd.
Todd.
Yeah.
And it
stepson.
was funny because the picture kept changing. He was like shirtless and it kept like getting closer.
Him smiling and kind of like.
Yeah, doing all sexy smiles and shit.
Yeah.
And her all like hot and heavy. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, of course they had to have some sort of like, you know, sibling fucking.
Ancestral.
Yeah, what do they call it? I don't even know.
Well, I mean, she was the stepmom, but
yeah,
still.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Taboo shit,
Yeah,
you know.
bullshit, yeah. But the evil wanted her to have sex with Todd.
Right. So we were like hoping that they would fuck at some point in time. We seemed like it would be pretty obvious. Mm-hmm. Todd's girlfriend comes over at night for a little smoking, doping, and drinking and fucking out in the old shed. Yeah. Couldn't think of a cleaner place to fucking go than a 30-year-old abandoned shed.
It makes me think that I wish that shed would have turned into like the shed.
Right.
You know?
But you know what? When you're a kid, if you think about it, and you're horny, you'll do it anywhere. You don't really care.
Right. You're right.
I remember I fucked in a forest once in the middle of the night, and a fucking deer came up to us and... I
fucked in a Jack in the Box.
Not me and you, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, I know that. I didn't
Someone
know
way better. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Thanks, babe.
It's just awkward, so I was trying to make it even more awkward.
I'm done. Bye.
There's no one better than you, honey.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's the truth.
Moving on.
Anyway, before they fuck, they see an article on the wall of some house burnt down on this lot. And she's like, your dad built this house on a burned down house? And he's like, I don't know. And then she pulls off Todd's shirt off, which he's like, I never liked that shirt much anyway.
I
like, what?
Too. I didn't like that shirt.
Yeah, never liked that shirt much anyway. You want to suck my dick? Like, you know, like, what the fuck, dude? That's some porno fucking, like, writing almost.
Right.
While they're on the fucking table though, a dead wasp breaks out of its pinned up display case. That's where it was.
Taxidermy.
Yeah, the taxidermy case, and it starts stinging the shit out of her while Todd tries to squash it, and it doesn't die when he smashes it with a piece of wood, and then it fucking wisps up in the air again.
It was like a zombie wasp.
Yeah, and he's like freaking out, and then it climbs into his fucking ear like, no!
Yeah, that was pretty... Ooh.
What the fuck?
Right.
Like that shit, that and like, what was it, the Star Trek movie, the like Wrath of Khan, where they fucking had the weird earbug go in their ear.
Oh, I have no idea.
They show it like all weird. Ooh. And it's a fake head. You can see like the wasp go in his ear. But it's just, and it starts stinging the shit out of his head or something. He's all thrashing about, and they pull it out with some pliers. And it's all like... When he pulls it out, like, it was like really loud.
Ew.
I don't know. I thought that was funny. They go to the hospital, I guess, but they don't show it. And they return back from the hospital. And Bill keeps having these dreams of a redhead child that's nailing his feet to the floor.
That was funny.
I'm like, what?
So
is that like a Jesus nod or something?
They never even that vision. They never explained that.
Well, I guess if you were to think about it, like maybe it was because they were saying you are a part of this house. Because he's in the Amityville house.
That's fucking stupid.
He's supposed to be the guy that's going to be infected by the demon.
But who's this fucking kid?
I don't know.
The kid a demon?
I don't know.
Why is he nailing him to the floor?
I don't know. But it is obvious now that the dollhouse has embedded itself into the family and pretty much disrupted everyone. You know, they got the aunt who comes by and everyone doesn't want to be around each other. Aunt Marla and Jessica are talking about the house and she's like, it's magic, I think.
It's magic.
Aunt Marla steals one of the dolls in the house and tells Jessica to write down everything the dollhouse does. So she does throughout the rest of the movie. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, if you stick your hand in it, it will make your hand appear inside the house or something like that. Wasn't it like Well,
didn't Jessica then she put her hand in the attic door? She couldn't get the attic door.
Yeah, and it kicked it away.
And she wrote down like, oh, I can't, don't touch the attic door.
Rule number 2, don't be a dickhead to the attic. In the dollhouse. I'm stupid.
And then
there was this really fucking weird Claire the mom fascinating about Todd's situation where she has like a masturbation session in the bathroom while she's envisioning Todd behind her. And she's interrupted by Bill and she starts fucking him upstairs, but she stops because she sees Todd looking at him from the bathroom. I'm like, when are they gonna fuck? Like, are they just gonna finger each other and shit?
Exactly. So then she left because she's like, I have to go to the store. And then she comes back.
Yeah, she's all hot and bothered by it, and she's like staring at him while he's like playing basketball.
It was a weird tension thing because it's like she wanted to, but then she got attitude.
Yeah, I wonder if it was weird for those actors.
I don't know.
That little masturbation scene.
Well, it must have been because they didn't really act it well. Right.
I don't know. The parents leave for dinner and the kids get sent to bed by Todd because he's got some plans to fuck Dana. And Jimmy sees his dead dad again out the window and he's all waving at him like happy, like, hey, Jimmy.
As he's digging a grave.
Right.
Yeah, he's like digging a fucking grave.
But yeah, his dad comes up the stairs with the shovel trying to convince his son to kill Bill again and that he doesn't love him if he doesn't want to do it for his dad. Like, he's like, do it for me, Jimmy. You'll feel a whole lot better if you do it, Jimmy.
Kill them all. Yeah. Kill them all.
Which is kind of funny. At dinner, though, Bill and Claire, he talks about how he's psychic because his sister's psychic and that he didn't realize that he had these, abilities and that they've been coming back to him since he's been in the house. Mm-hmm. While Todd and his girlfriend are at home trying to fuck again and Jessica is taunting the dollhouse like she's like yelling at it. I forget what she said. But anyway, Todd's girlfriend Dana is saying he's got it so good in the house and how she doesn't have a family. And then he's like, well, here, do you want me to make some drinks or something,
Let me turn on my blender so I can't hear you while you turn on the fireplace.
And she gets her fucking head caught on fire. And she's like screaming while he's like making fucking margaritas in Margaritaville, apparently, because he can't hear her.
When you were a teenager, did you make margaritas in a blender?
I mean,
I was lazy. I just fucking drank it out of the bottle.
Is he a teenager, though?
Yes, because he was in high school. He was living in there.
They never show him go to school.
Well, no, he was a teenager.
Okay. I don't know. He might have been older because his dad didn't seem to mind him drinking all that much.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
don't know. No, I don't know.
Anyway, she gets her fucking head melted and
which that part reminded me of the part in Hereditary when the father got set on fire.
The dad, of course, goes with Dana to the hospital. She's not dead, I guess. She's just hurt really bad. While Jessica blames the dollhouse, the little girl, and writes down more rules. Like, Jimmy's like hiding in his room with a baseball bat, waiting for his dead dad to come out of the closet, which was kind of funny.
That was funny.
The psychic aunt and uncle, they do a seance in their fucking bookshop. Their occult bookshop with the fucking stupid little doll that's from the...
That she stole from the dollhouse.
Right. And they stab it. Like, gets so crazy. He stabs it and blood comes out. And then he pulls out a murder hornet with it. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was just weird. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
These are these what the fuck doesn't make sense scenes. I've never seen this in another movie before.
Right.
Even though the story is, like I said, tropic as fuck.
Right.
That's what you were like looking at me like, why? What are you talking about? It's totally tropey. I'm like, yeah, but they do weird shit like this.
Yeah, they do. You're right.
That's right. I know I'm right. Anyway, Jimmy's dad busts out the closet with an axe and he's like, I'm doing this for us, Jim. It's payback time. And Jimmy chases him into Bill's room, but then suddenly his dad just like disappears. And Jimmy goes back to the bedroom while his dead father taunts him to kill again. And he looks like more and more fucked up as he talks to the kid. Like he goes through these different stages of decay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the more he's possessing Jimmy, I guess.
Like a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
I mean, he looked like a zombie from the get, but he just gets like, there's no more hair anymore. There's like, but that's when Bill busts in the room and actually sees him. Mm-hmm. So we were like, oh, so he can see him. I was like, that's kind of cool, actually. And then the dead dad is like, they're coming for you, Bill, and they're going to eat your soul.
Eat your soul.
I was like, which I got to say that the dead dad is probably like my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah, he was silly. He was
really,
a silly character.
It may not be the best comedy I've ever seen, but he's still the best part of this movie.
Right.
He even shows himself to Claire, scaring her. Mm-hmm. He's like, glad to see I still excite you, Claire. I'm like, what
the fuck?
Because Claire, that's her ex who died and had Jimmy with her.
And they also made it seem like he like verbally abused her or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was like controlling.
Oh, that's when the dad gets trapped in the fucking garage and the car starts and he's like dying of carbon monoxide but saved by Uncle Tobias.
Right.
And Jessica's upstairs while the dollhouse is spinning around like crazy.
I'm so spooky.
And Todd is getting earphone sound killed, which is always
yeah, that was ridiculous.
One of the worst fucking things to do in a horror movie. Look, like I understand that if it was loud, it would hurt your eardrums.
Or
but
they're exaggerating.
But their acting was not very good for this situation. You just pull them off. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't translate well, I guess.
But I thought he couldn't pull off his headphones because remember we were watching it and I was like, why didn't he just pull it off?
I'm just saying they would probably write it off as, the evil's got it in there. But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't translate well to the viewer.
It did not.
So anyway, Jimmy's dad is like trying to shove Jimmy in the fire at this point and says, but Claire, we're going to go to the other side. Don't worry. It only hurts forever.
We should have said that when we took the shot.
I planned on it and I totally forgot.
I forgot too.
But we didn't do the murder hornet shot, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't.
So then the uncle comes to save the day and he finds a piece of cloth of the fucking dead dad on the ground and stuffs it into the fucking like a voodoo doll and then they throw it in the fireplace to like burn him and his legs get burned off, which was kind of a cool scene. Like the dead dad is just laying on the ground with no legs and it's just ash. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But first of all, how did they even know? How did the uncle, who's not been there the entire time, 1, know about the fucking dead dad, 2, know that piece of cloth existed solely on the dead dad?
It's because he was a psychic.
Oh, that's right. You're right. But they didn't, again, translating not well. But Bill and the uncle look for Jessica, but she's been taken into the attic and they figure out that the fireplace is the portal. So they jump through the fucking fireplace on a whim. And
I hope this works.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
It'd be funny if he just hit his head and laid on the fire.
Oh! Somebody turned the fire off.
Jesus Christ, Bill's on fire. I told you not to do it. I'm psychic. Anyway, they're approached by some seriously big, ridiculous looking, but kind of awesome demons. Like 3 of them.
That was a good explanation.
Yeah, like one of them has a scythe that looks like it's from Troll 2.
Right.
An upright walking turd for the other one. And then a red demon with large wings.
Yeah.
Which was, they did, by the way, hodgepodge these things together. Uh-huh. They were originally going to use cardboard cutouts.
Ooh.
To do this scene, but the special effects guy was like, nah, dude.
Uh-huh.
He's like, we need to do this real. He's like, we got stuff from all these other movies that we've used that we can hodgepodge together something cool and like kind of make it work.
Uh-huh.
For cheap because they couldn't really afford to do like
$1 million budget.
Yeah,
okay,
like
you guys, let's just use what we have. Do we know where those other demons were from?
Right. He said Weird Science and Mirror.
Weird Science?
The TV show.
Oh, okay.
Which I think was the turd one.
Oh.
And then the other one was like the Mirror Witch.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
I don't know what that is.
It's Mirror 2 that he worked on. The red one looked pretty cool. The demon one with the large
Right.
wing looked pretty cool. But they escape through the door and like Uncle Tobias puts salt down on the ground, which then they use lasers to like emit this light from above to like simulate that there's like a god light that's keeping the demons away, but one of them whips its tentacle around him and pulls him out anyway and kills Uncle Tobias.
He was like a martyr. Didn't he tell Bill to leave? He's like, no,
Yeah.
you two leave. I must stay here and take care of this.
Right.
Like, he was pretty much a martyr.
So Bill burns the dollhouse and the whole house explodes as they drive away. One of my favorite things is Jimmy is like, that house was not up to code. Bill's a great guy and all, but the fact that he holds a contractor's license is kind of scary. And Ton's like, you're right, little brother. You're right.
At the end.
Yeah, like-
The end. That was the end.
Now, I know you guys are thinking this is a pretty evil fucking movie and probably one of the scariest movies of all time. But really, this story is about bringing the family together. Sure,
Right.
a mouse died, you know. Todd's girlfriend's head got melted off. Jimmy murdered his dead father, which, you know, will cost thousands of dollars in therapist visits. And his mom masturbated to her stepson. But in the end, the evil brought them together. And
The
you could call
blended-
it fate, or you maybe even call it the demon of Christmas family. Say what you will, Christina, but they have a bond, and that bond cannot be broken no matter what. The end.
That was good.
That's beautiful, wasn't it?
That was great.
Well, now excuse me real quick while I go load my shotgun.
Ba-bam! Ba-bam! The
Hey,
shotgun
party
shot.
popper! Only got one family member here. Well, two. Hey, Murray!
He's looking at you.
Hi, baby. He's like, you gonna shoot me, Daddy? Anyway, guys, what did you think of that movie? I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that movie. If you've seen it before, are you one of the collectors that goes goo-goo over Laserdiscs and DVDs of that $170 to $150 movie? I'm curious. Let's see how many of you have it in your collection already, because it's just one of those random movies that is hard to get for some odd reason. Probably because it's not that great, but I've seen worse in the franchise, so say what you will. We do have another movie that we're going to talk about that is many years into the future. 21 to be exact.
Right.
Well, technically there's a lot to the story, and I'll get into that once we talk about it. But go ahead, Christina. Why don't you kick it off?
All right. Amityville The Awakening from 2017. A desperate single mother moves with her 3 children into the notorious, supposedly haunted, real-life Amityville house to try and use its dark powers to cure her comatose son. Things go horribly wrong, as you would think.
Always, you know, like in a horror movie. But yeah, that's not the real Amityville horror house for you guys out there who were questioning it. It's actually a really good recreation, though.
Oh, okay.
They kind of did it, but they did it in California, so it's not in Long Island, not the original house.
Figures.
I was like, is it really?
Tagline is, every house has a history. This one has a legend.
Oh, boy.
I think it's important to note that this is a Blumhouse movie and it's rated PG-13.
Well, it's actually also a Dimension film, a Google film, a fucking, like,
Right.
all these other different companies that had it because it got pushed back a couple of times. And they owned the name. So I don't know who actually wrote the story. Got some information on that for that when we come up. So go ahead.
Okay. It was directed and written by Frank Calhoun.
Or Fawn. It's a really different name.
Right. He's directed Maniac from 2012 and Prey from 2019. He also played, as an actor, he played Jimmy in High Tension.
Right. Okay.
This movie stars Jennifer Jason Leigh, who plays Joan, the mother. She was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Single white female, Dolores Claiborne with Kathy Bates. I totally forgot about that movie. She was in The Hateful Eight, Annihilation, and that new Twin Peaks show.
I always get her confused with the fucking Breakfast Club girl.
Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get confused with her. It also stars Bella Thorne, who plays Belle. She was in The Babysitter, the movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
And she's also going to be in the sequel, which is coming out here soon, The Babysitter Killer Queen. And she was recently a contestant on The Masked Singer, which I've never watched that show.
Mm-hmm.
Also starring Cameron Monaghan, who plays James. He is in Gotham. He plays the Joker. He's also in the show Shameless. Mm-hmm. And he was also in Click with Adam Sandler.
Oh.
Yeah. Also starring McKenna Grace, who plays Julia, the little sister. Mm-hmm. She wasn't really in the movie, but I want to mention her because she was in I, Tonya. She played the younger Tonya Harding.
Right.
And then she was in Annabelle Comes Home. And she was in that home movie Princess Bride thing, that quarantine thing. And she was also in Captain Marvel, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, the newer one. And she was in the Haunting of Hill House. So she's been in a lot of horror movies.
Okay.
Or horror stuff, you know. Oh, I don't know what the budget is for this movie.
Well, it's a good thing, because I do. Not either. Zing. Well, it's really hard to understand how much they paid for the budget, but it also is even more hard to understand how much money it made. There are some reports that it made $776,000, and there's other reports that it made 76 million or some shit like that or something worldwide. And I'm like,
weird.
The budget's wrong on that. So I don't know, but it is really confusing because the movie had several failed theatrical release dates, including, and stick with me here, January 27th, 2012.
2012?
That was when the movie was supposed to be released. It also was supposed to be released then on January 3rd, 2014. Now I'm going to list all these off so you just bear with me. It was supposed to release on January 3rd, 2014, January 2nd, 2015, April 15th, 2016, April 1st, 2016, January 6th, 2017, and June 30th, 2017. The film was finally given a limited theatrical release on October 28th, 2017, before the eventual Blu-ray and DVD release on November 14th.
Oh my God.
So if you knew where to follow along with that, and for all of you who think the New Mutants has had it worse, suck a dick. Amityville beat them to the punch.
That is pretty bad.
I would say that obviously the New Mutants is pretty anticipated. This is not.
This was not. I don't even remember this movie coming out.
Yeah,
do you?
I do. Yeah, because Kyle did a review of it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why. Well, what did you think of this movie?
Well, Christina, I'm so glad that you asked.
Yes, Alex.
I might have a thing or two to say about it.
Oh, great.
So this movie... no, I'm kidding. Sorry. So it's definitely a more serious movie or modern take on the franchise. It's also very meta in the way that it approaches it too, because it exists in the world where the DeFeos died, but also where the movies exist in the world too. So reality. And in fact, they also talk about 3 movies in the Amityville franchise during this entire movie. Mm-hmm. So, which is cool, but also kind of like, okay. The story of a kid in a coma that is possessed by evil isn't necessarily new here either. First movie that comes to mind is obviously Exorcist 3. There's probably others where a whole ward of patients who weren't all there were being possessed by evil, which is cool. And definitely makes sense if you think about it as like, you know, they're halfway to dead or whatever you want to consider it. So their souls are weaker or something because they're not all there, you know. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting that they do that in The Exorcist 3 as they do here. They do a decent job here in the movie with that. But in the end of the movie, it does become a little off and tropey and kind of meh. Obviously, the biggest trope is a family moves into an evil house, but in the franchise, there are less than half in the house anyway. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the 4 out of the 9 that we've watched, or 10 technically if you count the remake, or is it 9 with the remake? Dollhouse is 8, remake is 9.
It's 10 with the remake.
So that's what I'm saying. 9 is the remake and 10 is this one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like they've all been, objects after that or some other dumb shit that they decided to do or in a completely different house or whatever. So I don't know. I think they did a decent job here. The acting is pretty decent for the most part. And then they have a real cast too, like with real famous actors. Like
all of them.
So
all of them.
I was kind of excited when we first started watching it. I was like, okay, maybe this is a little bit different. And we've been thrown fucking hard against the schlock wall and getting fucked and railed up against the side of it, like
hard
for like, how many episodes now?
Oh,
like
not too many.
But I don't know. They treated it right off in the beginning. You also have Red from the 70s show in it. Another 70s tie-in again with the franchise. Somehow. I don't know why. He plays a doctor in it. Isn't that great? He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
He does his role. But there are some decent scenes with a lot of jump scares thrown in. So if you're not into that, we'll understand, because even we were starting to count how many jump scares there were after the third or fourth one, because they happened within like 10 minutes.
Right. We were tallying them.
Yeah. And I really wish I could have seen the uncut version of this movie, as this was hacked down to PG-13 from like a rated R version.
Ugh.
Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but mostly just dream sequences I think were cut. The twist in this film is also kind of weird because it doesn't make much sense. It all kind of revolves around why they moved to that house to begin with, but I'm not going to spoil it for you there. You'll know it when you see it. Just kind of The end is pretty silly too, and a sort of a realistic spin to the nonsense after, which was all right, even if it was pretty obvious. The third act is where the problems really begin, I think. The most cluster of problems. And the first two acts have less problems unless you count all the jump scares. There was atmosphere there, though, that I really liked.
Me too.
Overall, I think it's just an average to maybe above average for some people. I'd give it probably a 5 on the nose. I liked some of the atmosphere and the modern, not so schlock feel of it, but I don't know, it just kind of loses it. And I'm wondering, they hacked off 13 minutes of footage that was edited out of the original 100-minute rated R cut.
Ooh, I would like to see that.
So, and it's got to exist out there too. Plus, you're going to be blown away with why this movie got delayed so much.
Oh, I don't even know why. I can't wait.
I don't think it's as bad as, most in the franchise. So
right.
There's that. What about you?
Now me, I'm a little bit different here because I went into this. I'm sick of these fucking movies. I didn't want to watch this.
Well, you say that, but you say it in a endearing way because you've enjoyed them.
Well, I've had fun, but not with other movies.
You're not blown away.
I'm not at all. I'm literally sick of these fucking movies.
Well, you wouldn't think that they would be 10 out of 10s, right? Like you didn't think that. Okay.
No, but this one.
Got you. Panties wet?
This. Shut up. There's a horror in the house.
There's some whores in the house. There's some whores in the house.
Sorry. Anyway. I was really, I really liked this movie. I do agree with you about it kind of losing its steam about the third act and it kind of gets silly. But I honestly liked this. This is probably my favorite one out of the whole series. You know what? The concept.
More than the remake?
Yes, from what I remember.
What?
I haven't watched the remake in a while. But anyway, listen to me.
Hold on, I gotta load the shotgun.
Hold on, I have a good point to make. Okay,
please do.
The concept of this movie reminded me of The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Because of the meta-ness? You think that's that clever?
Well, not clever, but I liked it in terms of...
It's topical. It's like birthday candles on a birthday cake. You don't need the candles. You just know that they're there.
Shut the fuck up and listen to me. So I think of my nieces and nephews, they would not like the original movie.
Right. But you're not 12 or 13.
I'm not. But in order for this story to carry on, I think this movie is a good way for this Amityville to continue on.
All right.
Okay, does that make sense, you fucking asshole?
I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that you like this more than everything in the franchise.
I like this more than all the 9 movies we watched. I really like this movie. I enjoyed watching it. No, don't get me wrong. It had the standard jump scare Blumhouse shit. Okay, and like you said, it got a little too twisty at the end. Okay,
even his body.
I get it. Oh. But I still liked it. Like the whole coma thing, like it was like sinister. Like they totally yanked that from that movie. But hold on,
I'm laughing about the fucking twisty part.
That's pretty funny.
That's fucked up.
I like the acting. The acting was cool. Okay, whatever. I gave this a 7 out of 10.
Oh my god, dude.
I really liked watching this because I liked seeing what they did with it. And it was in the fucking house, Alex.
Right.
It was in the Amityville house. It wasn't a fucking dollhouse. It wasn't a clock. It wasn't a mirror.
Okay, so all you need to be a good movie is be in the house, be modern day, and yeah.
For an Amityville movie, and you need to kill your family.
Right. Well, it's in every family, just about in these franchises. And they didn't all die. I'm just saying, like that's intention.
Yes. For an Amityville movie, those are the steps that you need to take to get a 7 out of 10 from Christina.
I didn't think it was that good.
I did.
I was like, I was like interested in buying it. Like when we first started watching it.
Oh, I want to buy it now. I totally want to buy it now.
That can come out of yours because I don't.
But I am dying to hear about why this movie got delayed for so long, which I kind of.
Well, I don't know exact reasons why, but I can tell you I could give you like pieces as to why.
Okay, I'm ready.
There's like. Okay, so guys, before we get to that, tell us what you think in the comment section down below or any of our posts anywhere, including this episode post on longlivethevoid.com. You can always subscribe and write in there if you need or anything like that. Or you can write on YouTube or wherever you listen. Just do it there now.
Right now, with your little fingers on the typewriter.
Your little sausage fingers.
The sausage fingers. on the typewriter.
Yeah. Anyway, but if you don't want anything spoiled, you can rent this movie, I think, on YouTube. I got it for free back in like 2017. Like
when it came out because they were desperate.
I don't know. Like they couldn't get people to watch it and everything like that. Plus, a lot of people lost faith in this film because, it had such trouble release. And I think it actually got more attention because it kept getting so much notoriety around the fact that it wouldn't get released over 5 years.
It must be that curse, that Amityville
Probably,
curse.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you don't want anything spoiled, this is your warning. So, James, first off, I want to tell you, do you know what his condition was? Do you know how it happened?
It happened because he fell out a window. He got thrown out a window.
James suffered a traumatic head injury after falling off a balcony during a fight with some guy, quote unquote, who posted intimate pictures of Bella online without her permission.
What an asshole.
So, trauma induced into a coma, and he was put into a vegetative state, which basically is like suspension of thought. So he's pretty much dead.
Right, he's dead.
That's why there's this back and forth with the mom throughout the whole fucking movie, like whether he's alive or not.
Right.
Really, she's just keeping him alive for her own personal
sanity,
interest.
yeah.
But you find out later that he was in there, blah, blah, blah.
Well, yeah, but
we talk about it.
Well, he has to be if they're...
Thank you! Stupid.
It was stupid.
Anyway, the film was also initially conceived as a separate film entitled Amityville The Lost Tapes.
The tapes?
Yeah, The Lost Tapes.
How?
The Dimension Films and Blumhouse Productions were to co-produce the film together with a screenplay by Casey LaScala and Daniel Ferrans, and it was to be a found footage film in the style of LaScala and Blumhouse highly successful Paranormal Activity.
No, that wouldn't have worked.
I think it could have.
I don't think it could have.
I think it could have been fine.
I don't think so.
I think that wasn't too bad of an idea. I mean, the fucking franchise has already taken a huge, like, what could you do wrong in the franchise at this point in time? Like, you can't.
Well, that's true.
Anyway, the plot involved an ambitious female television news intern on the verge of breaking the most famous haunted house case in the world, who leads a team of journalists and clergymen and paranormal researchers into an investigation of the bizarre events that will become to known as the Amityville Horror, only to unwittingly open a door to the unreal that she may never be able to close.
So the Hell House, but at the Amityville house.
What do you mean, the Hell House?
It sounds like that's the concept for the Hell House movie.
Was it? They
That's
weren't
what it
invested.
sounded like
No,
it.
the Hell House TV show that was on Netflix?
No, Hell House, the found footage movie.
Oh, LLC.
Yeah, Hell House LLC. Sorry.
Yeah, isn't that what it's called?
Something like that. I thought if I just said Hell House, you'd get it. But obviously
I was thinking of the movie The Haunting of Hill House. Hill House. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Hill and Hell are different, Alex.
So anyway, I think it would have been a good idea to do a found footage. I'm sure everybody who hates found footage is probably cutting their arms and their legs and shit right now, freaking out over it. But I like found footage, and I would have liked to see this.
And you should watch Host, because it was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked Host. I did a review on it.
You did do a review
Anyway,
on YouTube.
So apparently, after a bunch of multiple delays, they rewrote it and then shot an entirely new movie. So this is part of the reason why it got delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. So they had a trailer for like 3 years, but they had a different script before that.
Every time.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Weird.
I don't know. I think that I really would like to see them do the Lost Tapes version, but there is a movie called The Lost Tapes or something like that. I think I can't. It's a found footage movie, and you shouldn't rip that off.
Oh.
Anyway, but yeah, that's it for the trivia. And I know I skipped the trivia in the last movie, but whatever.
It's fine.
I was trying to do it for time, yeah.
It wasn't that great.
So we're going to go over some of the parts in the movie here and some of the scenes. So if you want to jump to the end and see what our tallies are and everything like that, but we can kind of go over some of the fun stuff that's in this movie that we actually liked or didn't like, if you have or have not seen this movie. So here's your warning for that. So the movie starts off with the original story of the DeFeos in 1974. It's like news footage from a lot of the people, but they intercut the footage with a different person than Robert DeFeo.
Right.
And you could tell, and I was like, immediately was
Totally.
like, oh, they're going to use this guy in some flashback scene.
It reminded me of the flashback scenes from Dr. Sleep from The Shining.
Right.
Like that shit.
Yeah, well, he doesn't look anything like Robert DeFeo.
Not at all.
I looked up the picture to remind myself, and I was like, oh, yeah, he doesn't look like him at all.
We'll just put a guy in a beard. No one will know the difference.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they did. They were like,
Yeah,
hey, let's put
totally.
this like thin-haired guy with long hair and put him
Like
in.
this hipster guy will work. It didn't.
I don't know. But the family moves into the house, the Amityville house, or the set of
Right.
the Amityville house.
It was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
There's a twin sister and her brother who's in a coma, plus a single mom and her younger sister. So there's like, big family. They're, she's
No
divorced,
dad,
no
yeah.
dad. One night the brother downstairs is like flatlining in front of them. And keep in mind, he's been like this in a long vegetative state for many, many years.
Right. So they're used to this happening.
Right. And his body is suffering from atrophy, which I think was further elaborated on with paint and effects makeup.
Right.
Like
And,
his rib cage,
right.
which is really...
And he looked like Zelda from Pet Cemetery.
It did. I did get some Pet Cemetery vibes.
Another Pet Cemetery reference.
It felt like it. I don't know
it
that was
felt like
what they
it.
were trying to do.
But if you think about it, that movie, Zelda, was one of the scariest things of that movie. So I'm sure there had to have been, because he really looked like her.
Well, maybe it was the same disease or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Right? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think it was
Anyway.
directly a nod. I think that they were just doing it as a coma patient, and they did it how they needed to do it.
I think
And they
they did
wanted to
on
make him look
purpose.
more sickly and like atrophied and like his skin decolored and stuff, because your skin does get decolored. Like, you have to like
Right, bruised and-
you like get sores, bed sores and shit like that from laying on the bed.
And I gotta say, he did a good damn job. This is why he's a good actor. He did a good damn job at that part.
I think so, yeah. But after a flatline and the mom and the daughter are fighting because, she thinks she should have let him go years ago because it's too painful for her.
Well,
and
and
then
they're twins, and she can
Yeah.
sense he's not there anymore.
she can sense that he's not there, and that plays into something later on. But he opens his eyes all of a sudden. And that immediately I was like, oh, obviously the evils replaced him.
Right. 'Cause
I thought, but they kind of make it different at the end because like it was like there was two people in there.
Right. Fighting.
Yeah.
But it was obvious that the evil obviously it was the evil because he was progressing. He was getting better, like, so fast.
Right. It was fixing him because they needed
Right.
to use him.
Right.
Yeah, it was probably puppeteering him.
Right.
Well, there's a one scene which is really kind of ridiculous where he like lays on a wall and gets all this energy from the wall, the red room.
The red room. They find the red room.
But yeah, there was this really weird scene, by the way, where he like lays on the wall and sucks up all the power from the evil to get better. I thought it was really cheesy from the red room.
That was cheesy.
It's cool it's like on paper that seems like a cool idea, but making it work visually it wasn't as subtle as it needed to be. It was a little too ham-fisted in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, the sister is bothered by people at school for unknowingly living in the same house. She doesn't even realize that this is the Amityville house because she's young.
She doesn't know what the fuck that is.
And she starts researching it and is constantly bothered by another kid in town who knows all about it. He even offers her a copy of the original movie on DVD.
DVD.
Which she walks away from him on. And then he introduces her to another friend who's a girl. And he suggests that they all watch one of the Amityville movies in the Amityville house at 3:15, which is that fateful time that the Robert DeFeo went up to the attic and got crazy and grabbed a shotgun and killed everybody. It's been in multiple different, I think it was in the first and second and then the remake. That's the only ones that took the 3:15 into account. Although there might have been one that they did it as a nod, but not like part of the story.
Like Time's Up or something.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how meta it is, though, that they mention the first and second movie and the remake. And he's like, okay, so we got the first one, which is about, this family getting haunted by this, thing. And the second one is actually a prequel, which it is. That's the DeFeo family, although they name them something else, which doesn't make any sense to me. And then he's like, then we got the remake. And she was like, well, fuck the remake. I don't want the remake. And he was like, you're right, it's shit.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
they were like, remakes suck or
yeah,
something.
but you know what? The remake isn't that bad. Like, it's not great. It's just not bad.
I don't remember it.
I think it's better than this movie.
But I think they were just saying it was bad because technically this is kind of a remake.
Right. I forget what he said, but he was like something kind of cheesy about that. I don't know. But there is also, that's kind of appealing to horror fans, to see that in there, which of course I'm sure they did as some sort of nod to fans of the franchise because mostly only horror fans really would watch a movie like this anyway.
But this is why I think it reminded me that particular scene is the town that dreaded sundown.
Because of the meta-ness. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I understand.
Just making sure. That's all.
You mean the remake of...
Yeah. The remake, of course.
Well, it's not a remake. It's a sequel.
Sequel, but it was still good.
Yeah.
It was a good sequel.
But then they're watching the movie. The lights go out. Like clockwork, 3:15. They go down to the basement, and the mom greets them with a fucking shotgun. And she's complaining about the daughter showing off her brother James as some sort of freak show. Like, really, Mom? Apparently his blankets were yanked off of him and she was blaming her. But she didn't do it. It was him.
Right.
Because he's moving about.
No, I think it was the evil.
Right. And then the Dr. Red from that 70s show comes over to do tests on his brain to see if there's any activity. And he's shocked to find out that he's actually responding. And the mom faints in front of him as if she's being drained by the entity or some dumb shit.
And then he just like packs up and books it. He's like, fuck this shit. And like leaves.
Well, you missed a part because like he didn't just pack it up and leave. He like instantly... The doctor moves his body and finds maggots under his fucking back.
Oh, right.
Like he's been rotting.
That's what made him
and
leave.
And then flies come out of that maggots and into his mouth. Like they fly into his mouth. And even Belle sees him acting crazy, but there's no flies. He's only envisioning him.
And the flies are from the original movie too, right? Like
right. They're definitely trying to make nod back to like, essentially this can belong into the first and second films.
Right.
That's why they only bring that in the remake up is because that's pretty much the only movies that deal with the Amityville house.
Right.
But the little sister is in her room and she sees the closet door open up and her brother calls. This was kind of creepy. This was a creepy part, kind of a jump scare. But she's like, where are you? And she goes into the fucking closet and the door slams behind her and he's all hunched over with red eyes like a rat. And he's got sharp teeth and he's like hissing at her and she screams.
Don't eat me.
But this is the confusing thing to me here is that, okay, so then the sister all of a sudden goes looking for her sister and she even goes in her room and she's not screaming anymore and she can't find her. And then she goes downstairs and her brother's not there and then she wakes up from a fucking dream.
And everything's fine.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah,
wait, did the little girl just get fucking scared by him or was that in her mind?
Right, or was it a dream?
Like, I don't know what's going on.
You're right. This is where it gets kind of twisty.
No, that's what happened. She goes downstairs in the dream and she sees James getting breastfed by her mother.
Oh yeah, that was disgusting.
But they didn't show it, and I'm sure
that's the cut.
I'm sure Monahan was sucking on some teat right there.
Yeah, totally.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because he had his hand and his whole arm on her back.
And his head was kind of where it
and
would be.
Then she turns and looks and just kind of smiles wickedly. Yeah. I mean, that breast milk has got to be old, too. I mean, it's been in there for a while. It's like a pus.
Well, I mean, her youngest isn't that old. Jesus, Alex, calm down.
I'm just being silly, all right?
She might be breastfeeding the little girl, too. Like,
it was confusing to me, though, that she woke up from this dream after all that happened. Because I was like, oh, cool, stuff's actually happening. Wait, it didn't?
Right, yeah.
So it's kind of confusing. Belle's friends help her research her condition, the brother's condition. And the one friend says, like, look, he's possessed. Have you not figured that out by now?
Right.
It's the house. And she's like, okay, you're really into this stuff, but like, come on. And he's like, well, look, here's the layout of your house. By the way, stalker. Like, here's the layout of your house. And here's your bedroom where you put all your panties and your Jesus.
It is like, here's the red room and here's where your brother is.
It's right over the red room where the thing in the basement is. Right. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I thought that was a little neat little touch that they added because they didn't make it obscenely obvious.
Right.
You know, because you don't really know the layout of the house or whatever. But she's like, well, how am I going to figure this out? You know, and she's like, you know, how am I going to figure out that he's possessed and prove it to my mom? And she was like, well, why don't you ask him? Because he's been using this monitor where he looks at the buttons and it recognizes the eye movement where he's looking to pick the letters on the screen, I think. And so if he stares at something for a long period of time, it clicks on it. I'm pretty sure it's an eye tracking device for coma people, like people who are coming out of stuff and are paralyzed.
Oh, okay.
And can't speak and shit. So I think it's a real thing. But she asks him if there's someone else in there with him, and he says yes, and to kill him. And she's like, all right, cool, let's unplug him and shit. Like, and she pulls out his breathing tube and tells, and then he's like, get out, it's trying to save me. And demon grabs her head and like, you're gonna be the one that dies. It's like something like that. And then the mom finds out that she tried to kill him.
And then she slaps her.
Yeah, she slaps her hard or whatever. Yeah. She's like, you've always wanted him dead. You know, and then he starts breathing on his own. Right. And he lives because of the evil.
Evil.
Yeah. So Belle breaks into the basement during this time where he tells his mom. She tries to manipulate the whole situation. And so she types on the screen, walk outside.
Trying to get him out. There's a circle outside of Salt.
Yeah.
It's the Salt again.
Well, no, she was just trying to get him out of the house so she could go break into the basement in the red room.
Oh, yeah, that too.
But there is a ring of salt around the house that they mention early on, obviously foreshadowing what's going to happen at the end of the movie. Right. But she breaks into the red room and there's like, you know, kill them all on the wall and like red paint. And it seems like
Amityville stuff.
Wouldn't you clean that up? Like, where's this water coming from? Wouldn't you clean it up, paint it, like fix it?
No, because the evil.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, whoever lived there would have obviously fixed that shit by now, right?
Well, they boarded it up.
Use salt paint or something.
Maybe they tried and maybe the evil just went through it.
I don't know. There's another scene where she just tells her mom that she thinks that he's possessed and about the red room. And she's like, honey, I know about the red room. Okay, I know about it all. Why do you think we moved here? And she's like, what? What the fuck?
So I stopped believing in God because he he didn't help us.
Yeah, God gave up on him, so then I gave up on God and moved to this house to bring him back and make him better.
He won't kill us all. He wouldn't do that to us.
Yeah, like evil has a control over him, bitch. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Her logical thinking here is really weird. Like, I could almost see that somebody would have, like, thought, oh, I could bring him back somehow. Mm-hmm. But then they would instantly,
it's, again...
anything weird starts happening, then they would be like, no.
I don't know, because, it's like that Pet Cemetery shit. If you're a parent and you lose a child, what lengths would you go?
I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. So, I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird. I thought it was kind of like... I mean, it was cool to know that she intentionally moved there.
You kind of knew.
But I feel like the mom should have been more wicked...
right.
than she was to lead up to that part.
Well, I mean, she was ignoring her daughters and slapping them. And I mean, she was evil. Maybe they just didn't project it as much as they should.
I guess. So Belle's like, fuck this. I'm out of here. I can't even control this situation. Tries to escape. Her mom like butts her in the head with a fucking shotgun as she's trying to get out. And then she comes down after, and her family and everyone are all having dinner together, and she's like freaked out because she sees her brother and he's acting normal and being totally normal, but it's another fucking dream.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Stupid. This is why you don't give it a 7, because of shit like that.
But I don't care. I still liked it.
I'm saying.
It was stupid. But honestly.
But she wakes up this time for real at 3:15. That was important when she wakes up from the dream.
She woke up from the dream.
And so does Jimmy at the same time. 3:15, and he's all cracking, and his atrophied arms and everything are like cracking as he's walking to the basement to get the power from the red wall in the red room. Like, please.
That was stupid.
That's why I'd say it's average.
That's stupid.
It might have above average things in it, but it balanced out with all the dumb shit.
Out of all these other fucked movies,
I don't know. Him fucking
digging it.
Evil hump fucking the wall to fucking back to normal is kind of weird. It's like kind of cool because it's like pulsating, and as he slinks down to the basement and shit. But then it's shotgun time.
Yeah.
It's Amityville party popper time right now.
Yeah, let's get it on. It's time. Time for the shotgun shots.
He pumps one into the mom's sister, who comes over to the house late at night for some reason. I don't know if it's her sister or nurse. We couldn't figure that out.
Oh, it is a sister. Because they said at the end that they killed the aunt.
Oh, okay.
He killed the aunt.
It was her sister. It was her mom's sister.
Yeah, it was the mom's sister.
Okay. Then he goes into the little girl's room to shoot her, but it's just the pillows, of course, because Belle and her sister are trying to run around to get away from him.
Because they're so tricky.
And then he heads into the mom's room and shoots her in the stomach, and who suddenly has a change of heart and tries to hold up a cross to him, by the way. And he's like, she's like, damn you to hell. He's like, too late. I was like, good one, Jimmy. It's a good one. Old slinky boy here.
Bam! Bam!
Old crickly crack.
Crickly.
Old crickly crack Jimmy coming out there with the good joke. See, this is like, now that I'm breaking it down, and it sounds even more silly. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Old Crickle Cracks is going down to the red room to suck up the evil dry humping the wall.
Dry hump.
Crickle Cracks throwing out jokes.
You're giving me laughter cramps.
Anyway, Belle and the little sisters, they try to get out. And as they're about to, the dead dog shows up and it's alive. And Belle stabs it to death, like fucking
brutal.
Brutally stabs it.
He was a hellhound.
Dude, she's covered in blood.
Right.
And it is a hellhound. But even still, like, she is fucking violent. Mm-hmm. And then the little sister somehow, like, she's like, run. And she runs into Jimmy.
Of course.
While the other sister's stabbing the dog.
Right. Why wouldn't she?
And there's this whole scene where he like tucks her into bed and he was like, now turn over. I want to play a little game. why don't you turn over? And I'm like, ew.
Ew, yeah, it was
And
weird.
second of all, you can tell that the little girl did a really good job here. I really think she did, because she looked really concerned about the situation and she knew something bad was going to happen, but she was too scared to not play along. So that is like really well done. I thought she did a really good job.
Well, she is an accomplished actress.
Yeah. Well, she became big after this, right?
She did.
Well,
From
she technically
2014.
recorded it before.
Yeah, before she was big.
Right. But he's about to kill her, and Belle comes in and says, stop. And he's all like, you wouldn't hurt your brother. Like, hurt you with what? Did she have a knife?
Yeah. I don't remember.
You wouldn't hurt your brother. And she's like, you are my brother. And charges him out the window, out one of the fucking eyeball windows of the Amityville house. And then he breaks off the fucking balcony and then falls onto the ground. And then she's like laying on the ground with him. And he's like, oh, I'm free. Oh my God, save me or whatever the fuck. And then he falls on the ground and he's all like, I'm dying. I love you. I forget what he says. He's like, he tries to trick her with like the typical sad sob story, but she's like, fuck you, you're not him. I played along too. And then drags him across the fucking salt line.
Right.
And then his body, the cool thing is his body like crinkle cracks back.
Crickly crackly.
You know, old Jimmy Crickle Cracks just crinkle cracks back into his little ball.
We need to hurry up. I have to pee.
All right, I'm sorry. But yeah, old Crickle Cracks, he's back and he says thank you. And then, of course, the one thing the movie does right is it blames the sister.
Yep.
For all the murders in the house.
She murdered everybody.
Right. And they're like, it's the house again. And it's like the house. And like, why would they believe her? But in the same regard, they can't prove it because it had his handprints on the gun.
Right. But the doctor said he wasn't physically able.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense that he would be the one talking about it when he had a vision of fucking maggots and flies flying into his mouth.
But on paper, as fact, like, they had to blame the sister, and I appreciate this movie.
Oh, no, I do too. That's what I'm saying. Like, you always, like, I think one of the movies we did, I was like talking about it. I was like, yeah, they would, no one ever thinks about that. Like, you know, there's always the burning house down, but everybody's dead. Like, all the bad people are dead, and they shot the, like, evil. And it's like, well, you also just murdered people because no one's going to believe a demon story.
Yeah,
so.
Especially the cops, because the cops are lazy.
Oh, my God. Jesus. You're killing me, Christina.
Good.
Anyway, I think this is a silly fucking movie, and I think giving it a 5 is almost too high.
I don't. This was the best Amityville movie out of the whole fucking thing that I've seen so far. But I don't remember the remake, and I haven't seen Amityville Island.
I don't know.
But I'm sure it's better than that. Do you want to break down our movies?
I don't know if anybody's going to fucking agree with me on my list here, but...
Well, no one's going to agree with me, but I don't give a fuck. Suck my dick.
I'm trying to think, like, because, like, this one I didn't write it down, so I have to, like, put it into the... This was, like, part 10 or 9, technically.
9. I have 9
because you don't count the remake, right?
I didn't count the remake because I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay.
So I didn't count it, but...
All right, so you do your order, and I'll do mine.
So, Amityville The Awakening was my favorite.
The Awakening is your number 1 movie.
Is my number
off a
1
franchise that is based on one fucking movie, Christina.
And the number 2 is the original. Number 3 is Amityville 2. My number 4 is Amityville 3D. Number 5 is Amityville 1992. It's About Time. Number 6 is The Evil Escapes. Number 7 is Dollhouse. Number 8 is A New Generation. That was fucking bad. And my least favorite Amityville movie is The Amityville Curse from 1990. It was horrible. Horrible. Anyway, that's my countdown. The final countdown.
All right. Well, I disagree with every fiber of my being.
Well, that's good. I don't give a fuck. What is yours? What's your favorite?
So, my number 1 is the original Amityville horror for the number 1 movie.
Right.
Done. Second favorite, it's really close. because I like the remake, but I didn't watch it to score it.
Right.
So I'm like...
So we can't put it in there then.
I like the remake, though. I think it's a good remake. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's a great movie. I just think it's better than all the other shit we've seen. You know what I mean? Like, right. And it's done, it's played straight.
Right.
And I think he did a good job on it. My second one, which was the tiebreaker almost, is Amityville 2, the second one.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Which is the prequel.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. It's dark. It's long, and there's other than the Pee Wee House Playhouse like shit going on in the movie. It's actually kind of good, and it goes somewhere, and it goes further and further and further, and the sister and the brother and all this other crazy shit are pretty wild.
Right.
My fourth one is Amityville It's About Time, which is number 6. That one was really good. I thought it was entertaining. I enjoy it. If I was to go in this order, I'd be happy. Mm-hmm. I have the Amityville The Evil Escapes as my number 5, but that's actually number 4 in the franchise. The Amityville The Awakening, which is the 9th film in the franchise, is my next one. I liked it slightly more than Amityville Dollhouse.
Right.
Which is next. And then Amityville 3D. I didn't like that one at all, really.
I really like that one.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, so...
Oh, that's probably why I've seen it recently.
It could beat Dollhouse by a little, but I don't know. It's been a while.
I thought it was better.
Then Amityville Curse is the worst movie in the franchise, hands down.
Well, I'm glad we agree on something.
Yeah. So that's mine. So Amityville, the original, the remake, part 2, part 6, part 4, part 9, part 8, part 3, and part 5.
So can we never talk about Amityville?
Well, we have one more question that someone asked me, and it was Josh Hetner.
Yeah.
He had said, do you think this is worse than the Howling franchise? And you didn't get to see all of the movies in the Howling franchise.
No, I would say no.
I would say no as well.
Yeah, no.
This is it beats it. It's close. It's not that close. It definitely, the Howling franchise is, even though the first movie is probably one of the better films. The Howling is almost in competition with the American Werewolf, but I think American Werewolf is the better movie, especially for the practical effects. Mm-hmm. Both are practical effects heavy laden movies, but I think the story in American Werewolf is better.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
But Howling, the first Howling is the best, obviously, and I've gone through the whole franchise with that, but I would say the Howling franchise is pretty bad.
Right.
And it may be even worse, we'll have to see, than Children of the Corn. I don't know. We'll have to see that one next, too. Sometime.
I don't even remember that movie.
I've been buying them all just so we can watch them.
Okay, well, we'll have to start it in a few months.
Yeah, maybe.
We need to ease off.
Oh, no. Yeah, we need to get off the franchise thing because we're going to do some new movies, some ones that are, well, not new, but ones that we need to review. So probably next week we're going to do Gutterballs.
Okay.
And Old Dracula.
Oh, God.
So it's just a grab bag of stuff.
You know, my birthday is coming up.
Yeah, and you can pick the movies that you want to watch for that episode.
Can we do some hagsploitation? Hagsploitation. It's old women movies. And what
are we going to do?
Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've never done that.
And the pseudo sequel, Hush Hush something. Hush Hush Down. Because that chick just died, the Olivia from Gone with the Wind. She was in the sequel.
There was a sequel? I didn't even know.
Well,
is it a horror movie?
It's a sequel. It is a horror movie. That's why it's called Hagsploitation.
Hag.
Hag.
Okay.
Trust me, Alex, and you're gonna get into this, and you are gonna get into a hole.
It's your birthday. I'm not gonna fucking argue.
We're gonna do Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Joan Crawford and what the fuck was her name? Well, Anyway,
we'll do that for your birthday. But yeah, next week, just to be clear, Gutterballs and Old Dracula.
Okay.
Gutterballs is an unearthed film that I got from MVD Entertainment Group. Vinegar Syndrome also is sent out to us. Old Dracula, which has just come out, that you can pick up. So both of these movies you can pick up from MVD Entertainment. You can pick up Gutterballs, and the next one you can get Vinegar Syndrome if you want to pick up the physical copies. We'll do the reviews of those next week. So it'll be different, little weird mixed bag, because one of them was 2008, one of them was 1973.
That's a weird bag.
Yeah, but at least it'll be so different than we.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, we won't know what to fucking do.
Oh God, I hope they're good.
Yeah, I hope so too. I've heard some mixed things about Gutterballs,
okay.
but
okay.
We'll find out, guys. Thank you so much for spending this extra little bit of time with us this week. I know this is a little bit of a longer episode, but thank you guys. We really enjoy this time with you. So have a great fucking rest of the week. Please stay safe out there. And as always,
long live the void. Happy anniversary. Woo!